back again for another video. My apologies for not uploading a video yesterday, but I was very sick. I ended up cutting the weeds down in my yard and I ended up having an allergy attack. Jesus, that season, right? But today's topic, we're going to talk about the many spirits of women, or of a woman rather. The many spirits of a woman. Where do we start? Oh yeah, I should be going live probably sometime this week. I might go live today. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be about feminist rhetoric. I actually have a video I would like to cover that was actually sent to me. So I'll be going over that. Hopefully I'll be able to do it live. If not, of course, it'll be a recorded video. And it more than likely is going to end up fully on Patreon and partly on YouTube. So if I don't do it live. But even if I do it live, it'll probably stay up for a week and it's going straight to Patreon anyway. So here we are. But anyways, the many spirits of women. I'm speaking mostly to BWs because a lot of them have many spirits. You know, we like to talk about psychosis and troubles of the mind a lot in the manosphere, but rarely do we relate them to having many spirits. Because you have to think about it, these are personality disorders. And how is personality formed? It's formed over a course of time. It's not something that is, how can I say, something that you're born with. You're not born with personality. You're formed with personality over time. Now, there are core tenets of who you are, definitely. But those things don't rarely change, and they may manifest more, but they aren't something that is unseen throughout your life. You know, meaning that they're around, it's just that they become more intense or they become more prevalent. We're not talking about those things. We're talking about, once again, the many spirits of the BW and the psychoses that they face. Now we know, we talk about BPW, we talk about narcissistic, we talk about histrionic, you know, we talk about what else is there? There is what's the other one? Bipolar. We talk about a lot of these things, but rarely does anyone relate them to spirits. Well, I'm here to tell you that a lot of these things are spirits. Now, that's not to discredit any work that you know, modern medicine and psychology has done to try to alleviate and deal with these things. But if you notice that with a lot of these things, therapy is needed. And what do they do in therapy? They make you face what? Your demons, right? That's what oftentimes they say. You know, you have to face your demons. And no one ever makes that connection. No one ever makes that connection. But I'm here to put it out once again. But anyways, it's often understood that a lot of psychosis are created by traumatic experiences. This is not something that you just, you know, it happens, but it's been proven. Like, for instance, BPD, they say some odd 75% of the people who experience BPD had some type of sexual traumatic experience as a child. I can't quote it, but I remember reading it a long time ago in a book. I believe it was Walking on Eggshells, and that's a book that's specifically geared towards explaining BPD, a borderline personality disorder. You might want to check that out. If I can find it, I'll go over it again. But I believe that's the number. It's a large portion have experienced sexual trauma. And the crazy part about it is that most of the people who end up with BPD are also women as well. So this is no coincidence. This is no coincidence. But I also want to talk about the Bible a little bit, because this is, and I'm not going to go into detail about any verses or anything like that, but a couple of stories, or a couple of instances of things that we understand. We understand that demons can jump from thing to thing. For instance, when Jesus went to, I believe it was, I don't know, he went to some synagogue, and he ran across a man who was in chains. And the city had been trying to deal with him for a long time. And he ended up, talking to the man. But he ended up recognizing, well, the demons recognized him first. And they said, why have you come here to us? Are you here to harm us? And Jesus said, nope, come on out though. And the demons requested to be put into pigs, right? So they went into pigs. It said it was, the name of the demon was called Legion. And it said that we are many. And he cast the demons out of the man, and at their request, he was going to do it anyway though. They just made a request to be put into pigs, to swine. And he ended up, you can find this in Mark 5, I believe. I think that's what it is in Mark 5. But he ended up taking them out of the man and putting him into pigs. And the number of the pigs was 2,000. It was 2,000. It was 2,000 of these demons in one person, right? So that goes to illustrate that there can be a multitude of demons in people, and they can also be transferred. Now, the way that Jesus did it is by by the grace given to him by God. Apparently, you know what I mean? That is very apparent. But there is also other ways that these demons can be transferred from thing to thing or person to person. And a lot of these ways are through traumatic experiences. Because you have to think about it. Well, think about it like this. What would cause a person to want to do something traumatic to another person, right? And then once that trauma is done to that person, what do they experience in their lives? It is never anything good. And it is always dysfunctional. It was dysfunction that caused the person to do this traumatic experience to another person. And it was also dysfunction that is now reigning the victim, reigning their lives. And it's causing them to be dysfunctional to other people. And this could be a multitude of demons, because it's not, sure, it was one instance, it's one trauma that happened, but this affects many different people. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're not just the only person that this person is ever going to run into, and you're going to have some bad taste in your mouth, and they may do something to you that will cause trauma to you, and you're going to pass it. You get what I'm saying? And it's multiple people. If it was just one demon, then it would be just one person that they could affect. But remember, when Jesus cast out that demon called Legion from that man, it was 2,000 of them. And I don't mean to sound, I know my channel is based in, reality. My channel is based in logic. My channel is based in rationality. But you have to understand that there are things that we cannot explain in this world. Like, for instance, modern day psychology cannot explain how this happens, that someone goes through a trauma and therefore they are now affected with a psychosis. They can't explain exactly why that happens. I'm here to try to bridge the gap on that, because these things have been passed down from generation to generation to generation, from person to person to person. This is the reason why we have such a prevalent of the same thing in our community. It's because these things these things are being passed around from generation to generation. How is it that 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 things that happened in the 20s, dysfunctions that existed back then still exist now? That's because they're being passed along from person to person, from generation to generation, right? But anyways, I don't want to get too deep into that. Somebody may rebuttal this, and I hope they do, because I'm not here to argue about this. I'm here to find solutions and gain understanding about what's going on and what's happening to our people, especially our women. That's my goal. My goal isn't to argue with anybody. My goal isn't to say you're wrong or, whatever. I want to hear your ideas. I would love to, because I don't know everything myself. So, I have the level of humility to be able to admit that, and to be able to stand in the face of someone else's idea that may make more sense than mine. But anyway, the multitude of demons in women. How does this look? Have you ever dealt with a woman, especially a BW, who showed themselves to be something, and then you notice that through, let's say you went out on a date with them, or you had your first encounter with them, and they seem very pleasant, because nobody's really going to come off very bad, very poorly, especially if they're trying to gain favor in the person that they want to be around. And you notice there's something off about this individual. It's almost, you get this kind of Get Out kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like they're normal, but it's just something that doesn't sit right. That is that's one of the demons that's destroying to you. That's one of the offspring of the traumatic experiences that they went through. So you go on, you get to know them, and you notice that there are inconsistencies about their personality. You notice that they seem to get upset at things that they shouldn't, or they seem to talk in a tone that they normally didn't talk in, or they seem to have a heightened sense of intelligence all of a sudden. Not saying that they're a stupid person, but they seem to operate in a higher sense of intelligence than you normally dealt with. Or they have a hypersexuality that was not expressed at any point in time that you've had sex with them, right? But now this hypersexuality is being expressed. What you're experiencing are the different demons within a woman. How can she carry? In the Bible, the examples that were given in regards to a man being a man being afflicted with different demons, it was dealing with men. The two examples that I can find anyway in regards to what Jesus did. It was just the one example. It was two different stories between Mark and Luke. But this was a man that it was happening to. But it's more prevalent amongst women. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of antidepressive medication is being consumed by women, mostly, especially BWs as well, if you look at the percentages. This is for a reason. Like I said, modern day technology and medicine has done a lot for us, and they are trying to help alleviate a lot of these problems. But the problem is that you need to know the origin of the problem in order to actually fix it, and they can't explain it. That's the reason why, even though they take medication, it does not cure them. There are a lot of things that need to be happening, and I'm not the one to say that what needs to be happening. That's a journey that they're going to have to take on their own. But nonetheless, what ends up happening is you experience this person, you get to know who they are. They are still there. They are still there. Regardless of how many demons they show, they are still there. And you get to experience their demons as well. These are the different things that you see in regards to a woman's behavior. This is the multitude of the demonic presence that she has within her. It's not her. It is literally not her. And I've been given good thing, because I call them dysfunctions, but I really want to call them demons, because that's exactly what they are. They were passed to women through traumatic experiences, and by them damaging their own wound as well, by them damaging their own vessel as well, because this is what carries them. They have to be housed somewhere. Remember that men and women are vessels, right? It's just that women are what we consider the weaker vessel, but it's not in the way that you think. They are considered the weaker vessel is because they can house multitudes of different things, whereas men can't. And that's unfortunately or fortunately looked upon as being weak. It doesn't mean that they are not sturdy or they're easily broken or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that they accept a lot of things that they shouldn't. This is the same thing with Eve. She accepted the temptation of the devil, right? And men, we aren't able to be possessed by women. We are only able to be possessed by the demons as well. This is the reason why you shouldn't worship any idols, because they carry spirits. I don't want to get too far into this. I'm not here to give you a Bible study. I'm not here to give you a breakdown on how demons work, or nothing like that, because I would really have to break out the Bible, and we would really have to have a sit down and talk about these things verse by verse and where they come from. And I don't want to do that to you guys, even though that's the word. But I'm here to make a point. And my point is that when you experience a BW and you're seeing all these different, for instance, Black Ram, he calls them the succubus, right? But the thing about the succubus is a single entity. Sometimes you may be dealing with a succubus, but a lot of times you're not. You're dealing with a multitude of demons. You're not just dealing with one. This is where the different personalities come from. This is where the different stances and outward expressions come from. These are different demons that you're dealing with. This is not a person's personality, because once again, personality is something that you gain over time that sticks with you for the rest of your life. These are literally things that were accumulated through traumatic experiences, things that these women have been through or that they have put themselves through. That's literally what this is. There's no other way to explain it. So be wary about these women when you come across them. If you start to notice that they have a huge amount of inconsistencies and they are all over the place, and they cannot form themselves to be one person, be very careful about that. I wouldn't say you shouldn't deal with them. I would suggest that you not, but I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, or what you should, I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I can only give you a suggestion. But you have to be careful about these things, because these things, while you may have a strong enough spirit to not be possessed by them yourself, you may not have a strong enough spirit or a strong enough presence of physical existence to be able to ward yourself against from being damaged or having a damaged life from these women, because that's essentially what they do. They don't seek to better your life at all. None of these demons do. They may be very charismatic. They may make you feel good, in regards to sex. They may even cook a good meal. They may do a lot of things, but you have to understand that at the end result is that they are here to destroy your life. That's what they're here for. They're not here to do God's will. They're not here to promote you to become a better person. Notice that these type of women never encourage you or support you to become better and to do the right thing. That's the reason why they are cool with thugs. That's the reason why they're cool with vice. That's the reason why they're cool with drugs. That's the reason why they're cool with that sketchy crowd that they hang around. It's because they also have the same demons as well, and they know that they will they will help and aid in the destruction of a community. It's bigger than what you think. It's ooh, it's a lot of people, you cannot put it this way, you cannot fathom how large this thing is. Not even I can, because I haven't met all the people and all the places and all the circumstances. That's how large it is. We've been dealing with this for hundreds of years. This is nothing new. We have been talking about this. It's just that no one has figured out what the solution is. I know what the solution is. We all have to go back from where we came. And I don't mean that in a physical sense. I'm talking about in a spiritual sense. We have to go back to where we came from. That's where we have to go back to, and that'll solve all of our problems. We've literally been cursed as a people. The Bible speaks of us as well. And until we do what we're supposed to do, we will continue to be afflicted with these things. A lot of people don't believe in this stuff, but how else can you explain it? How else could something that's more than 6,000 years old explain what's going on right now? How is that possible? How is that able to explain an entire people that the world had no idea about in its inception or its pre-existence? No one knew. How else can you explain it? But once again, I'm not here to drum and beat you down with my own spiritual beliefs. But what I will say is that these things are real. These things are real. There's no amount of medication. There's no amount of therapy that can rid these people of these things. Now, I did mention earlier that when you go to therapy, they tell you that you should face your demons, right? But that's the thing. The therapy just helps you face them. It does not fix them for you. You fix them. You get rid of them, because we have that ability to do that for ourselves. While we were, because, well, I'm not going to get into it, but we have the ability to not succumb to these things as often as we do. It's just that our discipline has to be greater than our lust and our desire. Another thing you have to consider about the BW is where does she get these demons from? A lot of times these aren't all from her traumatic experiences. These aren't all from someone else in regards to the choices that she could not make for herself, meaning that these things were put onto her. These are not all from these circumstances. A lot of time, majority, I want to say personally, majority of the things that these women come across, they seek them and they attach them to themselves by the way that they carry, and they have, by their own desire and their lust for things. A lot of these, our whole community, like I said, is afflicted, and these things are being passed around readily. They're almost like damn Pokemon. They're different types, and they're damn near unlimited. So while a lot of people are thinking that they are receiving things, but literally you're probably just exchanging them. You don't have this one? Oh, let's exchange. I'll just exchange your mines for yours, and now we have a whole set, like I said, they've been exchanged like damn Pokemon. It's crazy. And these women, they're very prideful behind it. They're prideful about being vile. They're prideful about being nasty. They're prideful about being prideful. They're prideful about their entitlement. They're prideful about their grandiose sense of self. They're prideful about a lot of things that are literally a downfall and a dysfunction for themselves and everyone around them. Why would someone be happy about their own self-destruction? It's because, once again, these demons are happy with you being destroyed. They're happy with destroying other people. Generally speaking, if you ask the person, would you like to see this individual be killed in front of you, just a random person? And they'll say, hell no, that's crazy. Because this is the core of humanity. The core of humanity is self-preservation and preservation of others who look like them, right? So if you, as a person, want to see the downfall of someone else, and you want to see the destruction of someone else, and you are willing to destroy yourself in the process to make sure this happens, you are probably afflicted. A lot of these women are very much, like I said, afflicted, because they're the ones who want to destroy what God has put together, that no man should separate. And I'm talking about marriage, right? They also want to destroy the children, because they want to separate them away from their fathers. They want to destroy. This is no laughing matter. This is no game to be had. This is no assumption that I'm making. This is actual real life that we can see day to day in regards to these women. And that's like I said, the core of humanity is homeostasis. They want to survive. They want to live. What thing wants to see things destroyed? What thing wants to destroy itself? What human would want that, right? You have to understand that the accumulation of the direction that we're going in is a destruction of a community. We have seen this. We are not getting any better. The sickness is spreading, and we are becoming more and more infatuated with things that we should not. We are being more and more distracted by women and lust and big asses, and I joke about it, but I don't really care about any of that stuff. We're being distracted with money, cars, and we talk about these things all the time, but nobody knows who they are as a person. Why? Because they're more fixated on satisfying their demons than they are becoming a righteous person and doing the right thing that will promote growth and actual true peace in their lives. Demons don't want peace. They don't want growth. They don't want people to live. They want you to die. They want everyone else around them to die. They want everybody else to be destroyed in the worst way possible. Look at our community as far as our health. People are obese. People are dying from diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease. Like, these are horrible ways to go out. No one is dying peacefully. People are dying from gun wounds and car accidents, and because of, high speed, activities, not because anybody's chasing you or you're in fear of your life or you're trying to, address an emergency, but just for fun. These demons want you to die in the worst way possible. They want to see you destroyed. They want to see your peers destroyed. I can't allow that to happen. Not in my lifetime. As long as I'm breathing, I'm going to stand against this. I'm going to stand to make sure that I am a representative of what's right and what's good. I don't normally talk about, me being a good person or, anything like that. But I talk truth. I try, I'm not here to say if you're a good person or a bad person. I'm here to tell you the truth, because the truth will balance things. It will set things straight. But anyways, I don't want to talk too long. I've already talked damn near half an hour. I probably should have did a live stream, but we'll see if I can get that other one in later on. That one should be a little bit more entertaining and not so abrasive, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, like, comment, and share. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Patreon. But until next time, this has been the Wolf and Beta Clothes. May you have a good day. And please, peace be with you.